Which brings me to the big news that they dropped on Monday. John Cena is coming back to WWE. He's coming back on Monday Night Raw in Laredo, Texas on June 27th. 20 years to the day that he debuted on SmackDown and he walked out to confront Kurt Angle. They got lucky with the timing, being 20 years to the day like that. And it could not come at a better time for the company with the injury to Cody, Roman doing his best Brock Lesnar vanishing act right now. You think back to the way that Cena debuted, it's not hard to imagine that Austin Theory would be coming out as the young guy confronting the vet, like Cena was the young guy coming out to confront the vet in Kurt Angle. I think Theory is a great person for John Cena to work with. I've made the comparisons before of Theory to a young John Cena. Cena is somebody that Theory, he told Chris Van Vliet years ago that Cena inspired him when he used to get bullied as a kid and his father was not in his life. Cena was the guy that he looked up to. Cena in Theory could be a great story. 20 years ago, Vince McMahon said that he wanted more ruthless aggression, and John Cena stepped up. Now, Theory on TV, he's Vince's protege. So 5 days later is Money in the Bank. That's too soon to put together a match. You want to save John Cena's first match back for Summerslam. 1 year after his last big match, which was also at Summerslam. You can't have John Cena come back now and not have him work a stadium show like SummerSlam. Cena's had some big SummerSlam matches over the years. Last year against Roman Reigns. An excellent match with Seth Rollins for the WWE and US titles in 2015. The memorable squash. The delicious squash at the hands of Brock Lesnar in 2014. The excellent match he had with Daniel Bryan in 2013 with that big fucking golf ball in his arm. Talk about wrestling hurt. He had that arm all wrapped up. He went out there and had the kind of match that he had with Daniel Bryan. That's impressive. The rematch with CM Punk, champion against champion in 2011. The match with Batista in 2008, where he then missed 3 months with a neck injury. What do every single one of those matches that I just mentioned have in common? Cena lost. He lost every single one of those matches. That's one thing you can't say about John Cena. For all the Super Cena stuff, you can't say that he never did any jobs. Theory is the guy to build. You use the stars of the past to help build the stars of the future. Right now, Theory is the US champ. And I know people romanticize about the John Cena US Open Challenge stuff, and I enjoyed that run too, but that was 7 years ago. I doubt John Cena would be around long enough to do the Open Challenge gimmick the way he did back then. The man has a very busy schedule. I can't see him showing up on TV every week for a month to defend the US title. And I'm torn because the obvious matches for SummerSlam would be Cena against Theory and Edge coming back to get revenge on Finn Balor. But there's another idea that I was thinking of with Finn Balor going heel. And the news of John Cena coming back, the timing works out well for this. Think back to the last time we saw John Cena on WWE television. How did he get the match with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam last year? He signed a contract that was supposed to go to Finn Balor. That was Balor's contract to sign. There was a segment on television, a contract signing segment where Finn Balor was on the verge of signing the contract to face Roman Reigns. Until broke-ass Baron Corbin attacked him and he tried to sign it himself. Then John Cena ran out, he threw Corbin out of the ring, and he signed the contract instead. He stole Finn Balor's title match at SummerSlam. And Balor said last year he's got a bone to pick with John Cena. The SummerSlam main event was his. His name was on the contract, and John took it away from him. They have an issue that needs to be settled. That's what Balor said last September. Those were his words. So hear me out. What if? I know they don't always have a long memory in this company, but what if Balor chooses to pick that bone with John Cena now? Maybe he even costs him his chance to become US champion again by having the Judgment Day get involved in his match with Theory. They don't even have to get involved in the match. They could do the match and then show up after. And this leads to a tag team match with John Cena teaming up with Edge to take on Finn Balor and Damian Priest. 5 days is not enough time to promote a Cena Theory match for Money in the Bank, so you could turn around and do the tag team match at SummerSlam. That doesn't work. But Cena and Edge as a team for one night would be fun to see. They have a history together. Edge is one of Cena's greatest rivals. I don't need to see them against each other. We already got that when they were younger and better, and it would not be as good today. But to see them as a team for the first time, with them both having an issue with Balor, I think would be a great attraction, even if it was only for a big TV main event, let's say sometime in August. Because they don't have any pay-per-view shows scheduled for August. We're going right from SummerSlam on July 30th to Clash at the Castle on September 3rd or 4th or whatever day it is that weekend. Right now, there's no big event on the schedule for August. After SummerSlam, a few weeks later, you could always build up a big TV match. But if you've got John Cena back for a limited window, may only be a few weeks, it'd be great to get 2 matches out of him instead of 1. And I think that you do Cena in theory, but I also think that Cena and Edge as a team, tied into this storyline bone to pick that Balor had previously said he had with John Cena. Now Balor is a heel all of a sudden. Edge is going to be a babyface again. I mean, it's almost too good not to at least think about doing that. I think that'd be a great attraction for a TV main event.